This is God's gift to you. May your soul sing loud and free, 'cause you are a gift to me. My soul holds a holy spark. You can even see it in the dark. Your soul is holy too. Yes, this is what I see in you. Elohai neshama shenata tabi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi tehorahim. Each soul one of a kind,
a little piece of the divine.
When you love what you create,
Your path will illuminate.
each soul has an offering,
A little gift that it can bring.
so sing your song both near and far.
The world needs you
Just as you are. Elohai neshama shenata tabi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi tehorahim. Elohai neshama shenata tabi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi tehorahim. Elohai neshama shenata tabi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi tehorahim.
Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav. We say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav. ידיים אליו, לא הכל מובן מאליו, כי יש דברים נסתרים כמו ניסים ומעשים טובים. לא רוצה יותר לריב, לא רוצה לריב, לא רוצה מלחמה. השלום בדרך בלבי הנחמה. בואו ונזרוק את השנאה, כי אני ואתה רוצים את השלום. תנו לי להגשים את החלום, ועכשיו אני פונה אלייך ואליך. רואה את השלום בעינייך ועיניך. בוא נעשה שלום ונרים את המקום, כי היום אנו בונים את העתיד לילדים שלנו. ומי עוד יעשה את זה אם לא אנחנו? עושה שלום, שלום במרומה, והוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום, שלום במרומה, יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. ויעזור על כל ישראל, ואמרו, ואמרו אמן.
Goes back CBS. Here's your S to here. Okay. And then you see where it says to go to.
Shabbat Shalom.
There's one more on.
Shabbat Shalom.
So you can.
Welcome everybody, whether you're here with us live or you're here with us live online. We welcome you to Erev Shabbat here at Temple Beth Israel, our first outdoor Shabbat of the season. We'll have, if this looks like something you just don't want to miss next time it comes around, then join us. We'll be, I believe, here the first week of August and the last week of August. So in order to get us started, we do have a couple announcements. So I'd like to invite Candy Fisher. Candy has a couple announcements, so a member of our Board of Trustees will share some important information with you.
Shabbat Shalom. Before we begin, I just wanted to remind you to please mute your phones or other devices. And being outdoors, of course, we don't need to know what, in case that we need to leave the premises for whatever reason, we don't need to know what exits to take, but it's nice to know if we need to leave the area, to, rather than go all the way to the south driveway, you know, you can go through the double doors into the sanctuary or in the social hall and exit onto Town Avenue through the other double doors. And that there is a fire extinguisher and AED near the water fountain in the hallway. There's another fire extinguisher inside the doors to the sanctuary where we enter. Let's see. If there is a situation that arises wherein it would be helpful and safe for us to gather together again later, please go to the southwest corner of the parking lot. So, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
It's still ringing a little bit. Bring on the mains, maybe. Thank you so much, Candy. So we're going to start out with Shalom Aleichem, which you will find on page 24 in your Siddur room. Hopefully everybody has a Siddur. If you need one, there are plenty of them over by the welcome table. So Randy and I will lead you. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malchei, Malchei, Malchei Elyon, Bimelech, Bimelech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu, Bochem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malchei, Malchei, Malchei Elyon, Bimelech, Bimelech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malchei, Malchei, Malchei Elyon, Bimelech, Bimelech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Yadadai, join me. Yadadai, 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 Yai dai dai, yada da dai dai, yai dai dai da dai dai, yai dai dai da dai dai, yai dai dai. Seidchem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malchei, Malchei, Malchei Elyon, Bimelech, Bimelech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Yada one more time. Yai dai, yai dai dai da dai dai, yai dai dai da dai dai, yai dai dai, yada da dai dai, yai dai dai da dai dai, yai dai dai da dai dai. Die, die, die. Isn't it beautiful? When the sun goes down and the Shabbat candles are lit. So I'm going to invite everyone to rise as we turn to page 2 in our Sidurim. And we kindle our Shabbat lights. Hopefully this will work as well as it has in past years with our hurricane lamps. But let's read together before we kindle them the bottom 2 paragraphs on page 3. O source of light and truth, creator of eternal law of goodness, help us find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary space in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Like I said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת. You may be seated. We will continue with Lecha Dodi, which you'll find on page 20 and 21. Before we do, I invite us all to just take a few moments of private reflection, reflecting on the week that has passed, the successes, the pleasures, and also the challenges. And in our mind's eye and on our mental screen, just to see them be pushed aside very gently so that we can be fully present to experience Shabbat together. After a few moments of reflection, we'll join together with Lecha Dodi, welcoming the Sabbath bride. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat mekapelah. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat mekapelah. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad ishmianu Adonai Echad, U'Shmo Echad, L'Shem U'Tiferet, V'Letchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat, Mekapelah. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat, Mekapelah. Shabbat lekhuven elcha ki mekor habracha meirosh mikadem nischa sof ma'aseh v'maksheva tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat mekapelah. Yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mekapelah. Itoreri, itoreri, kiva orech, umi ori, uri, uri, shira beiri, kevod Adonai, alayich nigla. Everybody, Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat mekapelah. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat mekapelah. Boi v'shalom Ateret bala Gam b'simcha ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה. Everybody rise, please. Bowie, face the entrance as the Shabbat Queen is entering. There she is. Boi Chala, Boi Chala. Lechadoni likrat Chala, yalala, 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 Erev Shabbat, Lekapela. Lechadoni likrat Chala, yalala, 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 Erev Shabbat. You may be seated. I want to invite Corey Malokatan to join us and lead us in Chatzi Kaddish, which you will find on page 26 in your Sidurim. And just put your book on top so it doesn't blow away too badly. That's a word. Hold on 1 second. Let me give you a chord. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's good. Yid Gadol, Yid Kadash, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Belmad Divrach, Hirute, Belamlich Malhute. Lecha Yechonu Yom Echad, Uchayedecho Be'Yisrael. Bagala, Bagala, Ubizman Karim, Ve'imeru. Amen. Shemei Rabbah Mivarah, Le'olam Ulamei Almayah. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipar, V'yit Romam, V'yit Naseh, V'yit Hadar, V'yit Daleh, V'yit Halal, Shemei Dekudisha Berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shir ata tu bechata v'nekemata da'amiran b'alma v'yimeru. Amen.
Before we rise for Baruch Hu, I just wanted to mention, so for the last 2 weeks, you've had Rabbi Kupitz solo, while I was at Camp Newman with 450 to 600 of my instantly closest friends, at least for those 2 weeks. And we have exchanged roles and places so that Rabbi is now at Camp Newman with a large number of young people from all over, mostly the West Coast, some from Israel, some from Europe. And I will be here the next 2 weeks solo. But I know that Rabbi would want me, of course, to wish you all Shabbat Shalom from him and his family. Eli and Abby, two of his children, are working hard at camp as avodanics, which are hard workers, and also Eli is running the CIT program this year. So we're very well represented up at TBI. And any of you who saw the picture that I posted on Shabbat from our little group knows that there was a lot of TBIers there as well. So with that, I invite you all to rise and join with Corey and myself in Baruch Hu. You'll find it on page 28. So just read.
Okay. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvara. Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvara leolam vaed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever.
Yai la 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 la, la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam vaed. seated. I'm just going to take a very short break. We're having a little problem with the piano, so let me see if I can help Randy to fix that. And while we're at it, if you want to prepare for what is ahead, if you turn to pages 30 and 31, there's some wonderful readings there, as well as on 33. I'm going to just chant the Chatima, the concluding paragraph on the page 30, and then we'll just hopefully take less than 30 seconds. El Chai v'Kayam, Tamidim l'chaleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai, HaMa'ariv, Aravim. Easier than I thought it would be. Let's hope it stays that way. Page, bottom of page 33. Let's read it together. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Last 4 lines on 32. Ve'ahavatecha atasir mimenu leolamim Baruch Ata Adonai Ohem Amo Israel. I'd like to invite Tiana Rassin to lead us in Shema and Ve'ahavta.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty, forever and ever.
You may rise if it's your custom. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You may be seated. We continue on page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anochim mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha ובלכתך בדרך, ובשופך, ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Thank you, Tiana. While Randy's standing on the chair to turn on the overhead light, I invite us all to turn to page 40, where, as we do at every service, morning and evening, we recall Yetziat Mitzrayim, the freedom from slavery and exodus from Egypt that our ancestors experienced so many millennia ago. The question always arises, well, why two times? Why is it so important that we recall it two times? Because not only were we freed from slavery, which was a blessing, of course, but the Israelites were given an entirely new way of living that has sustained us for now over 3,000 years. From a people who were subservient to Egyptian gods and Egyptian rulers, to a people who are called upon to imagine God as no other people had ever been called to imagine God before. A God that is unknowable, a God that is beyond our understanding, but yet is reachable and accessible. So as we sing Michamocha together, I want you to think a little bit about that and think, what are the ways that you are able to, in your own lives, in your own way, when is it when heaven and earth touch for you? And be grateful for that opportunity. Michamocha, page 40. Mi chamocha, bailim Adonai, mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, torati lo osei felek. Mi chamocha, bailim Adonai, mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, norati lo osei felek. Malchutcha rauvanecha, bokeyam livnei Moshe uMiriam. Ze Eli anu, ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh, norati lo osei felek. Norati lo osei felek. Norati lo osei felek. Echad Adonai et Yaakov, Ugalo me'ad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. We turn to page 42 for our prayer for divine protection, Hashkivenu, which calls upon us to be granted the gift of lying down in peace and rising up again anew in the morning. And a Sukkot Shlomecha, a tabernacle of peace. May it reside over all of us and over all we love this evening and every evening. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Ufros alenu sukkot shlomecha, ushmot zetenu uvoenu. Ufros alenu sukkot shlomecha, ushmot zetenu uvoenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We give thanks for the gift of Shabbat with Vishamru on the following page, page 44, I'm sorry. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat laso et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat laso et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ve'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael Oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat laso et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai, Asa Adonai, et hashamayim, et haaretz. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael, et hashabat, laso et hashabat, lidorotam berit olam. V'yom hashvi, Shabbat v'inafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat lasot et HaShabbat lidorotam berid olam. I'd like to invite Corey and Tiana back up to the bima. Okay. I'm so sorry, folks. We have a little technical. Sorry, everyone. We'll be right with you. Hello, everyone. It's so wonderful to be able to do services outside, except sometimes we have some extra things to be concerned about. We'll start with Adonai Svatai Tiftach as our Amidah begins on page 46. I invite you to rise if you're able. Adonai Svatai Tiftach Ufi Agite Hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Corey, why don't you take up those?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh Hakol V'Zoher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah.
Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaya kol atah rav Eloshia, morid hatah, mechokel hayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim ravim, somech noflim ve'rofer holim, umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato lishenei hafam mihamo haba gevurot umidomela melech memit Tzmiach Yeshua. Une'eman ata l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hakol.
Amen. Thank you so much. We continue on the following page. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We take some moments for silent reflection and meditation, and when you have finished your own personal tefillah, I invite you to be seated, and we'll have a selection from Randy, which he will introduce to you.
Well, Shabbat Shalom to everybody on this beautiful evening. All we need are the crickets to make it a complete experience. I was supposed to have our shul band flautist to join me for this song, which is May the Words by the composer Raymond Smollover, but she informed me on the way up here that she was not feeling well and couldn't make it, so I have to reconfigure the piece a little bit. I'll do my best. Okay, this is May the words of my mouth and the words of my heart be acceptable to you unto God, O God, my rock and redeemer. Very familiar words by Raymond Smollover.
Thank you, Randy. That was just beautiful. So I thought about what I might want to share with you this evening. And as we do most Erev Shabbats, we talk about the Torah portion for this week, which I believe is Pinchas this week. If you know the story of Pinchas, you know that Pinchas is noted in our tradition for being a zealot, for being someone who acts boldly when he sees, certainly in the Torah story, what he considered to be an injustice or a morally wrong act that was going on in his community. But I'm not going to talk anymore about Pinchas. I wanted to talk about something else that is notable because today is, I believe, the 173rd birthday of the poet Emma Lazarus. Many of us know Emma Lazarus from the inscription on the Statue of Liberty, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses." And I will read the full text of what Emma Lazarus wrote in just a moment. But I don't think we know enough about Emma Lazarus, and we tend to think of her only as some woman, I guess we think of her as a Jewish woman, who wrote something that got on the Statue of Liberty about immigrants. But she was much more than that. She was, in her own way, a zealot for the Jewish people, a zealot for Zionism, a zealot for many causes. And she was a bit of an anomaly in her time as someone who was of Sephardic heritage rather than Ashkenazi heritage, which in the late 1900s, when she was born in, I believe, 1849. So in the mid to late 1800s, you know, the Sephardim were in some ways the dominant ethnic group. They were the oldest ethnic group in America of Jewish origin. She has a beautiful poem, which is too long for me to share with you tonight, about her first visit to the Truro Synagogue in Newport, Rhode Island, for example, which was the seat of Sephardic Jewry, that along with, I think it's called TBI Israel in New York City for many years. But I'm just going to share with you a brief biography and then read two selections from her poetry in the hopes that we can leave here with her images and her own form of zealotry in our hearts. Emma Lazarus, born 1849, died 1887, was an American poet, translator, and activist, best remembered for The New Colossus. Following is a sampling of poems from Emma Lazarus. This is what I was taken from the poetry.com section, who was a talented and dedicated woman who deserves to be rediscovered and read. The New Colossus, her most famous poem, is the 1883 sonnet that contains the iconic lines of worldwide welcome inscribed at the base of the Statue of Liberty, which you'll hear in just a moment. But it would be a pity if this was her sole legacy, as she was incredibly accomplished, made all the more impressive by the fact that she died prematurely at the age of 38. Lazarus was one of the first Jewish American authors to achieve any level of national stature. Lazarus was still in her teens when she started to write and translate poetry. Her translations of German poems were published in the 1860s, and her first collection, Poems in Translation, was published in 1867 and caught the attention of Ralph Waldo Emerson. From that time on, she published regularly and took up causes dear to her heart, both as a writer and an activist. The persecution of Russian Jews, the struggles of American Jews, and the argument for a Jewish homeland well before the concept of Zionism became widely known. So the first selection that I'm going to read is a poem called The New Year, and it was written on Rosh Hashanah, for Rosh Hashanah in the year 5643 in the Hebrew calendar. Not while the snow shroud round dead earth is rolled, and naked branches point to frozen skies. When orchards burn their lamps of fiery gold, the grape glows like a jewel, and the corn a sea of beauty and abundance lies. Then the new year is born. Look where the mother of months uplifts in the green clearness of the unsunned west, her ivory horn of plenty dropping gifts, cool harvest-feeding dews, fine winnowed light. Tired labor with fruition, joy, and rest, profusely to requite. Blow, Israel, the sacred cornet. Call back to thy courts whatever faint heartthrob, with thine ancestral blood, thy need craves all. The red dark year is dead, the year just born, leads on from anguish, wrought by priest and mob, what undreamed of mourn. For never yet, since on the holy height, the temple's marble walls of white and green, carved like the sea waves, fell, and the world's light went out in darkness. Never was the year greater with portent and with promise seen than this eve now and here. Even as the prophet promised, so your tent hath been enlarged unto earth's farthest rim. To snow-capped sierras from vast steppes ye went, through fire and blood and tempest-tossing wave, for freedom to proclaim and worship him, mighty to slay and save. High above flood and fire, ye held the scroll, out of the depths ye published still the word. No bodily pang had power to swerve your soul. Yea, in a cynic age of crumbling faiths, lived to bear witness to the living Lord, or died 1,000 deaths. In two divided streams the exiles part, one rolling homeward to its ancient source, one rushing sunward with fresh will, new heart. By each the truth is spread, the law unfurled, each separate soul contains the nation's force, and both embrace the world. Kindle the silver candle's 7 rays, offer the first fruits to the clustered bowers, the garnered spoil of bees. With prayer and praise rejoice that once more tried, once more we prove how strength of supreme suffering still is ours, for truth and law and love. The New Year by Emma Lazarus. And now the more familiar, but sadly, the beginning is not as familiar. So let's see if this changes or at least amplifies the context of the words that we are so familiar with. The new Colossus. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I will lift my lamp beside the golden door. Happy birthday, Emma Lazarus. Shabbat Shalom. We pause now to turn our hearts to those who are in need of healing. As we sing our Misha Berach prayer, which you'll find in your Siddurim, at least in our traditional text here, which, what version are we doing? My version, okay. Something that I've adapted a little bit from the traditional version, which is here on page 263, I think, right? No, 250. The pages are tempest-tossed at the moment. Where'd it go? is. 253. I was close. Misha Berach. O Holy One, blessed our mothers, blessed our fathers from ancient days. Bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem, Lehatzikam Urapeotam, Veishlach Lahem Refuah Shlema, Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, B'toch Sha'ar Cholei Yisrael. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their name. We ask for blessings of healing for Rebecca Gilman, Hannah Fields Austin, Sue Toback, Rosalind Lefkowitz, Helen Weinfeld, Pam Poliakoff, Connie Shapiro, Kathy Blumenfeld, Caitlin Antrim, Kathy Brewster, Jennifer Rudin, Brad Holland, Serena Postal, Bobby Kay, Robert Strober, Marilyn Lubarski, Ellery Einstein, Patricia Kramer, Joan Morse, Nomi Kravitz, Craig Sachs, Simon Saul, Blair Pollock, Myra White, Lori Snyder, Jeremy Noller, Charity Rezada, Mike Klein, Lily Morrison, Sarah Coachman, Richard Hanley, Barbara Fass, Joel Beasy, Burton Gershman, Carol Berlant, David Bush, Howard Bush, Dana Sundin, Lawson Spicer, Mark Fenton, Gloria Foster, Rita Warshaw, Ira Quatcher, Robert Gerard, Stuart Mann, Stephen Arzt, Adele Harris, Maria Amaduri, Vanessa Regalado, Brenda Fong Gerard, Martha Sousa, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yimalei Rachamim Aleichem, oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names. So in the coming week, we will mark the change of the Jewish month from Tammuz to Av. It'll happen on Thursday night into Friday. So we'll chant the blessing for the new month together, or I will chant it, and then we'll say the blessing together on page 261 in your Sidurs. I know it's very dark. I apologize for the lack of illumination, but we're working on that for the future. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, yehi ratzon milfanecha, Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, shetekadesh aleinu et hachodesh haba letova v'livracha, v'titen lanu chaim arukim, chaim shel shalom, chaim shel panasa, chaim shetehevanu ahavat Torah v'yirat shamayim, chaim shi'alalu mishalot libenu letova. Amen. Together, our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good. Rosh Chodesh Av Yiyeh B'Yom Shishi. The new month of Av will begin on the 6th day, which is Thursday evening into Friday. Announcements. We used to do that at camp. Can I just mention, they don't do that anymore at camp. They just tell you where to go and what to do. Candy Fisher from our Board of Trustees with some very special words.
Thank you, Ken or Paul. So on behalf of the board, thank you for being here this evening, both outside here in this beautiful lawn and those of you online. Toda Rabah to Cantor Bush for leading us in an amazing, inspiring, and beautiful service. And to Tiana Rosen and to Corey Malakatan for leading us with their voices as well this evening. Also a thank you to Randy Polivoy. Thank you. Polivoy for the beautiful piano piece, and much appreciation to Claudia Gonzalez for making all of this technology possible. She handles our technology so amazingly. Also, appreciation goes to Nathan, who sets us up out here this evening and on these nights where we have this lovely outdoor Shabbat with all the furniture and the tables and whatnot. So thank you so much for the oneg that we're almost ready to enjoy. All the items were thanks to Ronna Chafin, Robbie Waldman, Maury Feingold, and Tammy Zipster. Thank you to Sharon Sachs Regalado for tonight's flowers on the table and the candles on the table. And thank you to tonight's greeters, Kylie Sykes, Beth Litton, Vicki Hollander, Sharon Regalado, and Lance Watsky, and for Jay Eisenberg as well. So again, the oneg, I believe, is going to be right outside here on the table right behind us. So we look forward to visiting with you more there. We have an amazingly busy and engaged community. So you can find what interests you in our weekly update, our e-blasts, emailed every Thursday our monthly kahila, and our website and our Facebook page. So I just want to highlight just 3 particular events coming up soon. Saturday morning is Torah study with Mikey Ryan from 9:30 to 11. It's both in person and online. Also,
It's back in person.
I believe it is. Is it?
No, it's
No?
only online.
Is it? Okay, thank you for that correction. Okay, it's only online at this time. And you'd want to contact Mikey Ryan.
The information's in the TBI email.
Okay, thank you. Also, Erev Tish B'Av observance is coming up on Saturday evening, August 6th at 8 p.m. in the TBI Sanctuary and online. You can check your e-blast for more information or contact the TBI office. And also, Dr. Randy Polivoy is guest pianist at the Richard Nixon Library and Museum. The announcement is right here on your kahila, right here at the bottom with an address to the location. It's Sunday, July 31st, starting at 2 o'clock. It is free, open to the public in a beautiful facility. So please check your kahila and e-blast for the library's address in Yorba Linda. It's really not a 2-day drive to get there. You can get to my house in Diamond Bar. We'll give you refreshments after 20 minutes. And then you can drive another 25 minutes to get to Yorba Linda. And it's well worth the trip. And just hearing Randy Polivoy play for an hour will be well worth the trip. So Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Candy. I can just see Chuck and Candy's lemonade stand right there, you know, in front of the house as you drive by. Just a couple of things to add. One is regarding Tisha B'Av. We're pleased to be able to partner this year with Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. Rabbi John Carrier and their cantor will be part of our online presence. We'll do some interaction with them along with Viva Rosenblum. We'll be doing some chanting too. So please join us. Better here than online, I think, but anywhere you can care to join us. It's I think some of the modern perspectives on Tisha B'Av are well worth listening to and considering, especially as we consider the global heat crisis that is, you know, we're kind of right now in a normal temperature pattern, but anyone in Europe is really struggling these last couple of weeks. So, and the only other one thing I want to just everybody a heads up on, unless there is some miraculous change of direction, LA County has indicated that starting next week, we will be required to have masking in all indoor events, and as TBI has previously, we will adhere to that mandate, not only because of our belief in supporting such things, but also because it serves our own higher value of koach nefesh, the preservation of life. As things go, I know that they're uncomfortable, but having come from a camp of 600 people where masking was required for everything indoors and outdoors, I know it can be done, and I know it can be done successfully, and we certainly did it successfully here at Temple Beth Israel. So until such time as that is relieved, we will ask everyone to mask in the congregation, and clergy are still permitted, as long as they're by themselves, to unmask when they're performing clergy services. So that's about all I can share right now. I invite us all to rise for Aleinu L'Shabeach on page 282, if you are able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עצרנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגוד עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. At this time, we take note of those who have passed in our community in recent days, and also raise the names of those who have passed at this time in seasons past. We particularly note the recent passing of Morris Richard Green, uncle of Sharon Stein, Judith Bosworth, mother of Sue Slim and Temple member, Larry Bosworth, Temple member and stepfather of Stu Slim, Janet Barong, mother of Jeannie Barong, and Henry Hank Krieger, husband of Rita Krieger. We also recognize the yahrzeits of Sandy Feingold, Richard Tepich, Martha Dunn, Ruth Greenstein, Lillian Hecht, Zelda Horwitz, Robert Zipser, Esther Frank, Mildred Gozansky, Robert Gross, Naomi Sugar, Meyer Asher, Tanya Belabroff, Leon Salter, Nathan Schulman, Maury Baker, Harry Dizengoff, Rose Schumann, Rose Warshaw, Esther Grossman, Etta Jones, Martin Krentzman, Sarah Sullo, Levitch, Bella Schulman, and Nathan Zuckerman. If there's a name you'd like to add, please do so as I pass through the community. If you're in a time of mourning or observing a yahrzeit, I invite you to rise at this time. And if it is your custom to rise in love and support of those who mourn, you may also do so at this time as we read together the words of Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'galav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach l'olam u'lalmei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dikudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all humankind, to which we say, amen. We will close our service with the words of Be'ado, which you'll find on page 321, bottom paragraph. After we conclude, if you want to maybe take a few of your chairs over to the tables that don't have chairs. That would be appreciated. And otherwise, if anyone's available to stack the chairs that remain, I believe in stacks of 8, that would also be appreciated. But we'll have Kiddush and Motzi first, and if you can then do the mitzvah that I just mentioned, we would appreciate it. Beyado.
Beyado of Kidruchi, Bein Ishan ve'Ya'ira, Ve'imruchi geviati, Adonai li ve'lo ira, Ve'imruchi geviati, Adonai li ve'lo ira. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. Beyado. Beyado of Kidduchi. Bein Ishan ve'Ya'ira. Ve'imruchi geviati. Adonai li ve'lo ira. Ve'imruchi geviati. Adonai li ve'lo ira.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you again to Claudia, to Randy, to all the helpers. Sally and Jay have some wine or juice over there for you. Let's all gather by them so we can say Kiddush together. And Shabbat Shalom to everyone online. Thank you so much for joining us virtually. I hope you have a peaceful and restful Shabbat.